السلام عليكم، مرحبا بكم للريدرز كو where we nurture your reading culture، البودكاست تاع الكتابات، القراية and الكتب. اليوم عندي two guests، ماشي غير واحد، معنا لقمان ووالد. مرحبا بكم.
It's always pleasure to meet you, صابرين. وش راك؟
يسلمك، صافي بليزير. أنا تاني it's always a pleasure to meet you. رانا هنايا في لودوجو and I thank them a lot for this space اللي يخلونا نديرو فيه البودكاست تاعنا. دوكو اليوم رانا هنايا باش نقصروا على الكتابات. ديجا كاين كتاباتكم اللي راهم معنا حاضرين معنا. صح، قبل ما نبداو ماذا بيا كل واحد فيكم يبريزونتي روحو.
My name is Lokmane, author, writer, designer. I've been writing من 2023. My first book is here. It's called The Juncture, published by Shakespeare Bookstore. And inshallah, in the next few months, I'm gonna be a publisher.
إن شاء الله. هذيك نعاودو نقولوا لها تاع publisher.
Yes.
وليد.
Hello everyone, my name is Walid Khaldi. I'm 25 and I currently live in London. I've started in finance, my career in finance, but I have always had this love for books. I have published 2 novels. I've been fortunate enough to start with Isotope, and then I have gone to another genre, which is What Lies Beneath, a psychological thriller. And yeah, I'm really happy to be with Lokman in this journey and starting this publishing house.
Amazing. دوكو احكوا لنا شويه على ذا ببليشن هاوس. على بالي بليك اسمها هذه اتلس هاوس، اللي مازال ما شافهاش لازم تروحوا تشوفوها. الا بارتيكولاريتي تاعها سي كو ببليشن هاوس ان انجلش. دوكو السؤال الاول اللي يطرح نفسه، علاش ان انجلش؟
Okay.
وكيفاش حتى جاتكم الفكره انه تفتحوا دار نشر ان انجلش؟
We both went through the same hustle. لقينا بلي publishers in Algeria in general don't give us the quality that we are striving for. If they do, usually they like to add their own sauce and literally ruin the artistic vision, which was my personal experience. However, we managed to get a team and start with something, put the bar higher on the get-go. Voilà.
Donc en quelque sorte c'est parce que نتوما ما لقيتوش شكون يبيبلي لكم كتاباتكم que vous vous êtes dit this is an opportunity.
Donc, on a publié un article sur Atlas House, sur notre Substack. راح يكون في la newsletter. And justement...
تلقاو كاع links below.
Yes. And ندخلوا en détail على how did we manage to start that actually and what was the problem that stemmed.
That's interesting. ما expect a lot of details في Substack. D'accord. Et du coup لقمان كيفاش حتى نصرات الاسوسيشن؟ باسكو فاوندر co-founder كيفاش حتى تفاهمتوا؟
Bon, you've been part of my publishing journey from day one. And it was funny actually باسكو تلاقينا في البوك signing event أنا ووليد. He heard Billy, okay, there's another sci-fi author. I'm also a sci-fi author, and he visited. It was like basically the first contact, but practically ما حكيناش for 2 years. A year. حتى je pense début تاع 2025.
No, début 2025.
Début 2025. It was like, okay, I have this idea. I see you as a potential partner, etc. Let's go. Okay.
Okay.
And the thing is, funny enough, I was working on this. It was like in the backlog my dream projects. So
في كاش بلاصه هكا، في كاش كتاب، في كاش كارني.
Yeah, it was there. It was in my journal. And نعت له واحد المره journal تاعي. It's the same pipeline that we're using now. So there was some research, and it was just laying there. And the perfect opportunity جات. We decided to move forward with it. So.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So الكويستشن اللي دايما نسقسيها، وشنو هي علاقتكم مع الكتب؟
I've been a storyteller مني كنت صغير. كنت عندي I have like some doodles. Like my co-author and my brother knows the whole story. I used to doodle stories. I used to write stories. ومن بعد راح نحكيهم له غير هو because they were very very private. So it started like storytelling since we were young. ومن بعد bien sûr كبرنا شوية. It was like a forgotten talent. It was like a forgotten thing that we had. بعد plus tard في حياتي around like 14 years something like this, I was like, okay, رح نبدأ نكتب again. I started writing cheesy stories, as always, as any other
cheesy stories.
Yeah. And they were just there.
Okay.
I had like 4 short stories that I still save for now parce que plus tard inshallah maybe I will publish them. I don't know. They're just still there. One of them that marks me the most was The Archaeologist. It's a book that I got inspired parce que كنت نقرا everything that has to do with Agatha Christie. Surtout Arabic translation. I used to love Agatha Christie like this, the mini books. And then I started I started taking writing seriously in my university or my college years. Second year,
صح قريت English literature.
Nope.
D'accord.
My major is in engineering, mining engineer, so it's just a hobby.
دوكو من جهة كنت تقرا انجينيورا ومن جهة قلت علاش لا نعاود ندي الكتابة يعني كهواية more seriously.
Exactly, yes. And then COVID came. My brother joined in this endeavor and we made our first book.
والد كيفاش حتى بديت مو شنو هي علاقتك بالكتب بطريقة عامة يعني؟
Je pense I can relate to Lokmane's story because since I was a kid, I was always fascinated by storytelling. The thing is, for me, I didn't start with books right away. I've been introduced to movies and video games when I was a kid, and the way they convey stories through, gameplay, the lore, etc. So that was the thing that always fascinated me, and due to technical difficulties in the past where video games used to be like very linear and closed, I used to imagine my whole world that I built myself, like my head canon. This is what happens behind this room or behind this.
Walid started with fan fictions على games.
Not true. I want to beat these allegations from now.
His version of cheesy stories.
His version of cheesy stories, exactly.
So I also started reading when I was 9, 10, started reading English, Jack London, some classics, and I thank my parents for that. When I was 15, I started studying at the British Council. So I did like upper intermediate until advanced, and that's where I was like, why do I not like do something, create something? One of my late teenage books that I read was the Witcher series, and that was the one that really inspired me. I was like, okay, there is a video game, there is a movie, and there is a book, and everything.
Actually, there is a book وبعد باش يجي الباقي.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, but the thing is, I started with the Witcher series with the games. Then I saw like, okay.
كيما قاعد تبان لي كاع اللي ما يعرفوش The Witcher as a book كاع بدينا as a game.
Yes.
أنا وحدة بديته as a game.
Fair enough, and it's like the success that it had that drew me into reading again, and was like, okay, let me give my own take. Maybe one of my books will turn into a video game in the future.
Damn, that's very ambitious. That's
Yeah.
nice.
That one. This one.
إذا شي واحد is interested
Yes. Game developers.
Game developers, this is your call.
This is your call.
صح. سؤالي يطرح نفسه علاش تكتبوا بالانجلي ماشي بالعربية مثلا. Why English as a language for your books?
This is a question that I get asked a lot. I don't know if I was a visionary or my parents were, but they were always like, English is the international language. You should master it. Like French outside of France and Algeria or Quebec, it's not gonna like get you as far. But as an international language, English helps me also to vocalize my thoughts, my feelings even better. That's what I find.
What about you, Lokmane? What do you have to say?
My journey started in Arabic, honestly, but I always regard the Arabic as the most prestigious language out there in terms of the craft, the language itself. Plus tard, I discovered really, okay, this is not for me. All my stories were, okay, it's a flop. I didn't like them. I shared them with some people, they didn't like them. So I wanted to switch. By the way, ما كنتش نحكي
To switch style?
To switch the language entirely. Okay. And by the way, I wasn't like fluent in English. I was, I had a very decent level. Movies, when I watch a movie or listen to a song, ما نفهمهاش. So I started like enhancing my English. And then I started this journey purely for writing. Like I wanted to write in English. And I've seen I got techniques for English better than I was in Arabic. But voila, it's straightforward, it's simple. It was something that attracted me basically to write in is the English language. Mais dans tous les cas, I wish نهار نكتب بالعربية or translate at least my books in Arabic, but حابها تكون a personal journey, my personal journey.
Est-ce que في بالك le fait que شغل you approached الانجليش على اساس انه انا حاب ندير بها حفصه كانت شغل سهله لك بارابور للعربيه اللي هي شغل اور لانجويج تسمى العربيه شغل نحس باللي بوكو بلوس نستعملوها طول الوقت الوغ كو شغل when you approached English it was more for novels and writing شغل كان عندك a precise goal دونك لازم تميتريزي هذيك لا لونغ بواحد البريسيجن اسكو هاد العفسه هذه عاوناتك ولا
I don't really know ما باليش بصح the question is اسكو حنا from the way we approach writing اسكو we approach it from the classical Arabic or درجة genre back in the day I had no idea بلي كاين novels بالدرجة donc I switched directly to English parce que the classical Arabic is hard to master genre for me it was it's not I'm not saying بلي الناس كل hard عليهم for me it was really hard parce que I used to compare myself to it was like I always do this I always compare myself to the elites but more oftentimes I get disappointed so
Who do you consider are the elites in terms of Algerian literature? Who do you compare with?
Algerian literature I have no idea but I used to compare myself to Egyptians a lot.
مثلا نجيب محفوظ
جمع هذيك.
Okay.
I used to compare myself to the elites and I used to read I still read and memorize many poetry passages. تسمى to be as good كان عندي هذاك المنتال موديل to be as good is to be them ما كانش عندي تدرج in steps.
وفي English ما عندكش هاد المنتاليتي.
I think I do.
I mean I could say the same. Why don't you compare to إلى نروحوا science fiction because that's what you write.
Isaac Asimov or
Isaac Asimov يا سيدي
Stephen King.
Not even Stephen King, just compared to Brandon Sanderson, who is like the top notch right now. Why don't we compare to him?
I think I matured with time.
ديكوفريت بليك ما
نسحقش نكون كيفهم. I can be my own version. Maybe I can be even better. Who knows? But I always use them as references. Même with the team, but we talk about the Atlas House. Même with the team, I always use the same names to describe the movement that we're looking for. I admire these people, except the Zionists. But in terms of writing, I really admire their craft and ما زلت نكومباري I discovered that you grow as an author, so you don't jump.
I see. What about you, Walid? What are your inspirations in terms of writing? زعما شكون هما اللي كنت بالك تقراهم وتقول أنا حاب لو كان نخرج كتاب يكون كيما هذا. What are your inspirations? ولا نقولوا role models maybe?
Honestly, I was more interested into screenplays and screenwriting at the beginning. I don't know if you know Sam Lake. So Sam Lake basically is the head of Remedy Entertainment, and they are the people behind Max Payne. The level of writing in that franchise is something that I always tried for. If I had to look apart, when you read graphic novels, when you read I don't know, fiction, it's something that sparks your creativity in a way that you're like, I think I can do something like this. Because when you feel the emotions, you're like, can I ever make another reader feel what I'm feeling right now? Like, oh my God, he killed him. Like, how dare you? You know what I mean? And, those tough choices, that's what I try to nurture into my books. It's like emotions. I don't want you to read a book about, people write about the mundane life and no judgment here. But for me, it has a purpose. It has an end goal, giving you maybe a little of morality, little morality lessons.
I can disagree with that.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here for that. And so I want to tell you a story, but also a little message. Not most of the time, not hidden. I make it clear.
make it clear
Make it
from
clear.
the get-go.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think شغل no matter what kind of genre it is, as long as a book makes you feel something, it's a success. Because it could be the mundane life and you feel something afterwards, or it could be sci-fi, thriller, fiction. Je pense que باسكو علاش الروايات مخدومين باش هكاك بيوند هذيك لا لوسون اللي يمدها لك ولا بيوند هذيك العبره نقولوا
Yes.
اللي يمدها لك
المغزى.
فوالا المغزى هذاك كاين هذاك الفيلينغ هذاك الشعور والاحساس اللي يخليه فيك a novel and I think شغل هذيك هي العفسه اللي تخلي الروايات عندهم that kind of success.
I think because they're mostly relatable. When you relate to the characters or the situations, usually that's why the execution of هذيك المغزى makes it, hit harder.
نعاودو نولو شويه لكتاباتكم نروح لهم بالعقل بالعقل. شكون فيكم بيبليا الاول؟ I think وليد right okay دوكو كيفاش كانت الجورني تاعك وكيفاش شغل كيفاش you approached the whole thing tu t'es dit ندير manuscrit نبعثو لدور النشر كاع يوليو يحبوا كتاباتي oh I'm gonna make 10,000 copies sold نطلع نيويورك time bestseller.
That is still the plan, guys.
That
That is still the plan. She got it spot on.
okay دوكو كيفاش كانوا توقعات expectations versus the reality اصطدمت بالمارشي.
So honestly, the way I approach life is the way I approach my books. Keep my expectations very low and go brick by brick, go step by step. Whenever I reach a step, I take my time in it. But if I see that it takes more time to do a certain step, that's where I flag it as, okay, there's a problem here. When I started writing, it's very funny because I started writing just before my baccalaureate exam. It was like, I don't know, 2 months before. And I was like, I just want to write a story. I was not focusing on games anymore. I was not playing. I was not watching movies. I was mostly مع
بالك شغل عفسه خلاتك ديستريسي شويه من لا بريسيون تاع الباك.
Definitely. I think it's something that allowed me to pour my thoughts first. Because Isotope in itself, it's very funny because it was supposed to be a slice of life. It was not supposed to be a sci-fi at all. But the way it turned into a sci-fi, it's, let's say, كيما les fables de La Fontaine. تعرف باللي he means something behind هذوك les fables. بصح, to mask it, to make it pretty, he just, added a layer so he cannot be accountable 100%.
Sprinkle some fairy dust in it.
يعطيك الصحة. That's exactly how it happens.
هذا it's slice of life with a sprinkle of fairy dust.
Exactly. So if you take all the sci-fi off, and I don't know, you change the villain for a teacher or someone else, like it totally makes sense. You just rebrand it. But like on the writing or the publishing process for me, I started writing, drafted my first draft, finished it, edited it myself. I had a friend from school that helped me like very thoroughly read through it, correct it, and when I had to contact the publishing houses. Every door was closed. English. Why
publishing houses هنا في الجزائر.
That like my first idea was like, I wrote it here, I'm gonna publish it here, and then we can seek other opportunities. But why not satisfy the local market first? I mean, I was ambitious, young, but I was like, okay, I will satisfy the local market, even though when you read it today, it's like, meh. You know what I mean? It's like it could be 100% better. But yeah, publishing houses turned every door off, and I only had the chance to deal with some vanity publishers, and basically it's like choose your poison. It's like you had no perks, but choose the one that costs less. Yeah, the lesser evil. Oh, nice. That's a Witcher reference.
I know. The lesser evil.
The lesser evil.
Okay. Interesting. اي من الاول للدوزيام كيفاش صرا باسكو كومام الاول it was عندك trials و tribulations تاعو كاع المقاسي رانا راح نقولوا صح مالغري صاصك ماشي عفسه اللي زعما حبساتك وديسيديت كومون تخرج دوزيام ليفر.
Yes, I think as Algerians we have hope. And it's a little bit of the Lulu hope that we're like, once some time passes, you're like, okay, maybe the system changed. Maybe something has changed. Maybe it's not like the first time. And that's what happened with me. I spent 4 years writing Isotope, but I spent a year and a half writing What Lies Beneath, even though this is way better, way longer. And honestly, I had to chop down a lot of parts. So it makes it like in a it's standalone, not too much to digest. And I had no hurdles with publishing because I knew who to contact now. I knew who to go for. And I had the same experience, if not worse. I had 3 months of wait. I had started my marketing already. They gave me a deadline. I was like, okay, you're going to deliver me the books by, let's say, December. It was the case. It was December. And when I did all my marketing, people had literally signed into the pre-orders because I have a special edition for What Lies Beneath. The special edition is alternative cover with illustrated chapters. So I wanted to make sure to get that out first, like in a business sense.
شغل business wise.
Business wise,
Voilà.
because non seulement la version spéciale, it was pricier because of the production cost, but if I had sold every single copy of that, it would have covered all the publishing. So the other one would be
Du
just
coup انت كنت
distribution.
تخمم genre beaucoup plus for the expenses of it et tout.
Yes.
ومن بعدك وش يبقى راح يكون mostly profit شغل.
100%. Because I set up even when I published it, it was in no way a financial decision for me. It was every bad financial decision in one place. So I have given money to a publisher that doesn't know me, that I don't know. I don't even know where they're based. They just told me, trust me, bro, send me the money, I'll print you the books.
You didn't sign anything?
I did sign a contract, a binding contract that basically hinders you. It gives us exclusivity of the title for a whole year for the publisher for no reason. They don't promote you in the salons. They don't do editing. They don't go around, promoting your book, especially that it's in English.
بروبليم كبير.
Better.
لقمان كيفاش كانت انت الاكسبيرينس تاعك كي حبيت تخرج الكتاب؟ بس على بالي باللي كيما نتايا جو ما درتش with a publisher, right?
Yes.
اوتو ديداكت.
Yes, thanks to you.
فازي احكي لي.
So, as I've said earlier, كنت في publishing process كامل. The thing is, I was lucky to meet people that warned me from the vanity publishing route. And كما وليد قال لك, I had hope I go for traditional publishers. I know they exist. I know they're really good. But the hurdle was إنهم they don't do English. They don't risk English باسكو أول حاجة readership that English is limited in Algeria. And secondly, it's because maybe the book did not appeal to their target audience. Because the target audience is you have to write about Algeria, etc., etc. While this book talks about an American person in a very foreign time travel.
Foreign setting.
Yeah, foreign setting, Western setting. Donc, I decided, okay, I said, okay, instead of going for a vanity publisher, they can potentially destroy the brand, the final product, in terms of design, in terms of layout, etc., etc. Why not go for self-publishing? Like I'm gonna have expenses anyways. So
شغل انت مخلص عليها بهم ولا بلا بهم باسكو فانيتي ببلشرز اصلا يدومونديو لك انه تخلص باش يخرجوا لك الكتاب.
Just to print the book. This is the problem. They don't offer any services. Donc I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it myself. I paid the designer. He made the book cover. I designed the layout, and I decided to look for printers. And the rest of the story is the legal stuff. How.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How much did it cost you for the cover?
Okay.
When you ratio it to the publishing cost, because it's very interesting.
I mean, I always I'm an extra. I'm extra. So I went for an American designer to keep everything thematic about the book. So it cost me around $200, I think. Yeah.
For the cover book?
For the cover book, yeah.
We have designers في الجزائر. You're aware.
Of course, but
you're aware we have artists في الجزائر.
Yeah, I'm a designer myself, so.
Yeah, justement.
I wanted to go for someone who's experienced, really experienced.
Experienced book covers.
Yeah. Niche tao is book covers. And
I'm judging so hard. I'm so sorry. كمل.
You can do that. I admit it was a mistake. I'm not saying that it's.
I think the way I raised this question, it was mainly because when you factor the cost, you see, it's almost the same thing as printing. Yeah. The whole thing, the whole like 120.
Yeah. It at the end of the day, كي سمعت الكوست تاع
Yeah.
الكتاب تاعك الكوست تاع
Yeah.
كتابتي I think I made a deal.
Exactly.
Ultimately I think I made a deal.
That's what I'm saying.
Compared to him. The problem with now going back to designers, you know باللي publishing is confusing in Algeria. ما كانش guide ما كان والو.
Yeah.
Especially قلت لك in a very specific context تاع الكتاب تاعي English doesn't represent Algeria etc etc.
صعيب انه تتبع الايديا تاع الكتاب
exactly.
باسكو از ان اوثر شغل كي تكتب كتاب كاين نفسه بزاف امبورطنت اللي بالك بزاف ناس ما يتولهولهاش انه كتابك شغل هذيك ليدي هذيك لازم الا باش هكاك ببلشر يديك ولا دار نشر تديك شغل لازم تبيع لهم هذيك الفكره وهو شغل كي يشوفها يقول اسكو هذه نقدر باغ اكزومبل ندخلها في مسابقات اسكو نقدر ندخل هذا الكتاب هذا في مهرجانات اكسيتيرا لو كان ما يشوفش بليك عنده هذيك لا بلو فالو ما راش راح يكسر راسو معك يقول لك ما
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, for the most part. Bon, just the context can specific. And about designers, I was so confused by and overwhelmed by the process itself. I didn't think straight. Donc, okay, I go for the experienced people for publishing. I'm going to go to a cover designer. Even the ASBN, I was planning to buy it from abroad. I was like, the process was a hindrance. يا لازم لك تكتب بلاش تجيب تعهد شرفي من عند البرينتر and all والprinters are difficult to do this. I was like, okay, bref, I need to publish my book. My goal 2023 is to publish my book. The next step was the distribution. Let's not talk about that. Thankfully, I went to Shakespeare bookstore. I pitched him the idea, and it was just that because he sells Western books, foreign books, and
هما سبيسياليزي في الانجليش بوكس اصلا ما جو بونس شغل هذيك هي البلاصه اللي لازم كتاب كيما هذا.
Yeah, thankfully the owner gave me a chance. Didn't long.
Shout out to him.
Yes, shout out to him. Yeah, exactly. And then I published, but I think it's not the most optimal way to publish a book. Because the book is missing a major part, اللي هو editing. Thankfully, my brother has like a decent experience in editing, so it doesn't look that, jumbled. It's consistent. But I still think, Billy, this book can be better 20 million times if it went through an editing phase or a traditional editing phase.
Considering كاع ال trials, tribulations والمشاكل اللي دزتوا عليهم, what do you hope to achieve with the Atlas House? اسكو راكم حابين تبدلوا هذا الابروتش ولا تروحوا vers something similar ولا شنو هما زعما طموحاتكم؟
Honestly, we want to improve the perception of publishing in Algeria. Like, as you've seen from our experiences, but it was lots of obstacles, ما عرفتش ديري, etc. Donc, we want to provide an opposite experience to what we had. Because we believe we have like a lot of artists. They write in English. Throughout like the past 2 years, I was reading, I was interacting with authors. I was reading their work. Many of them had like potential to be published, but تقصيهم تقول لهم why don't you get published? I don't know how. I don't want to give my baby to bad people, etc.
Vanity publisher.
Donc يقول لك I prefer not to publish. على إني I publish with those people. باسكو هم شافوا الكاليتي. يسقسوا other authors, different experiences. I even met people who quit writing altogether because of predatory behavior these publishing houses. Donc we want to provide many things. Among them is to guide the author from the acquisition phase until we put their books in the bookshelves.
Du coup, you're going to treat it as traditional publishing. Par exemple, كيما حنا جو نديرو في publishing house.
Yeah, we firmly believe authors shouldn't pay to be published.
Okay.
So, the author, your job is to write. If we see potential in your book that matches our, brand values, publishing house,
editorial guidelines.
Editorial guidelines, anything that we want to achieve. Actually, we can acquire you, and you will make it feel like home. We have like experienced people, experienced editors, experienced marketing people, and we're going to take care of everything until the bookshelf. Donc, for authors, they don't really need to worry about expenses. They just have to be diligent enough and deal with the the editing phase. They treat their work seriously, and voila. This
يكونوا
is
سيريو يكتبوا
exactly.
حكاية
Yeah,
شابين.
yeah, exactly. Voilà.
Walid, you want to add something?
Yeah, so being a writer is enough of hard work. I think
Yes.
it could be definitely a full-time job, and for writers to work on other stuff like legal, printing, thinking about the nitty and gritty, I think that's just a waste of time, and that's where we come forth and we offer full mentorship. And like Lokman said, it's basically a mentorship program from acquisition just after the sales as well. So we keep in contact. Our product is not the book, it's the author himself. We invest in the author, and the author just has to, deliver, want it to be published enough that he works day and night. And we already have seen that with the authors that we work with today.
Du coup, اللي راهم intéressés باش كي publier in English, the link will be below to the Atlas House. تقراو ال editorial guidelines تاعهم, and maybe why not تقدروا نتوما تاني تنشروا كتابكم in English. Which brings me to the last segment of our podcast, which has been a blast, by the way.
Okay.
بيسك كتاب الله يبارك مؤلفين وعندكم دار نشر اكسيتيرا, بصح I'm pretty sure باللي أنا نأمن باللي بنادم اللي يكتب داخل في هذا الدومين هذا يقرأ بزاف كتابات.
Yeah, nice.
So the question is وشنو هما الكتابات اللي انفلونساوك والكتابات اللي تريكومونديهم to our dear public.
Okay. The books that influenced me, as I said, I used to read in Arabic, but there are like very interesting English books that influenced me.
Titles.
Basically, all Paulo Coelho's books.
Okay. I'm judging hard. Ooh.
Yeah, but you can judge that, but he provides the best story structure, like the classical story structure, Freytag's. He masters it, so it's beginner friendly. Also, I like modern books. Vishwab, the villain series, very good. I like books like classics like 1984. I read lots of sci-fi. Any Isaac Asimov book, really, it can never go wrong. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, which was a very there are lots of references in this book about that story.
Yeah.
And it's so imperfect that it's really good. It's so imperfect. Like he coined the time machine, the time machine concept in literature.
Yes.
So it's one thing that I would recommend if you're interested in writing sci-fi. You gotta start with that book. If you want to read political stuff, just read George Orwell.
George Orwell, dystopians.
Dystopians, yeah. Or
Sociopolitical.
the one that wrote Huxley, the one that wrote Brave New World.
Ah, yes, Brave New World.
Brave New World is so good. There is also Fahrenheit, like this, the whole, the dystopian stuff. I'm really
اسمه
fascinated.
Edward Adolf.
I don't know. I forgot Bradbury, something like this.
Ray Bradbury تاع Fahrenheit 451.
Yeah. Just read dystopian, guys. It's really good.
Yeah.
Or you can read like vanilla dystopian stories like The Hunger Games, or
You call that vanilla dystopians?
I mean,
Shmush.
yeah, it's compared to the stress that the titles I provide give to a dystopian setting is way different than The Hunger Games or, let's say, The Maze Runner.
I believe it's written for different audiences.
Yeah, it's more accessible. It's more light. There is a modern, it's not very modern, but you can consider it modern. It also has a show. It's called Silo. It's really good.
Silo.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a really good dystopian sci-fi book. You can start.
Okay. Cool.
I love it.
Walid, any recommendations and books that have inspired you through your journey?
So for me, if I have to recommend books for authors, I would recommend authors, not books. So for me, George Orwell, James Byrne, Andrzej Sapkowski, the translations, unless you speak Polish. And yeah, anything, for me, any screenplay can serve as a novel as well. So for a cyberpunk...
You're heavily influenced by screenplays.
Oh yeah. Screenplays and scripts. Star Wars scripts, you should guys dig into that. Cyberpunk, those bring an atmosphere I think sometimes some authors, some novel authors, fail to do. So maybe you can, nuance between the two.
That's interesting.
D&D boards too.
D&D boards, yeah, campaigns, D&D. If you guys are into fantasy, get into D&D. Get a group of friends, start doing some. Did D&D for Atlas
Just
House?
just for reference, D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. It's a role play game where basically you have a story to follow with, and you have profiles like personas. So, and Andy, a character, for example, you take a character, he takes a character. Oh, depending on your character's advantages and flaws, they're going to react within the story. What D&D teaches is mostly storytelling and world building and character arcs as well. It teaches you how you use. I think what is interesting about D&D is how you're going to use your character to sort of advance in the story. بصح you know also the limitations. You know also where you're gonna make them grow. You know where you're gonna make them fail, etc. And it's very interesting to help you about storytelling.
Like a
think
funny
it's
story.
good. Go.
So basically, well, before this whole AI thing started, there was a cool website that I forgot the name, but that allowed you to create mini D&D campaigns. So what I used to do with Isotope, basically, I would create my whole world building, put it inside, and basically how D&D works, it gives you dices, and it's based on your luck. If you have like a 20 dice in, I don't know, adventure, you will find something. You will roll the dice, you will find something in there. And that's what I used to do. Like I roll a dice. Let's give Daniel some luck. I have his whole character sheet. I know he's very bad at talking with people, so
Yeah.
I give him like a dice of 5 in talking. So that's how it was, partly built.
Partly built. Okay, so like D&D helped you build Isotope.
100%.
That's cool. That's cool. So, any last thing you want to say to readers/writers? Maybe to start writing, or any advice you want to share with people?
Well, I will address this to readers. Support your local authors, not because I'm an author, but I think
But I agree. Yeah, support them. Support also the ones who are still alive.
true before it's too late, and artists in all genres. Honestly, if you like painting, if you like graphic design, just look around. Honestly, I know it's not like very straightforward. You just don't go on Behance and write Algerian artists, but honestly, Algerian artists are changing the world and shaping it. We personally got into contact with one of the artists that has a lot of campaigns around Algiers and Algeria, altogether with Algerian companies, and to be with him on the same table, humbled, and that these guys are the people that are building tomorrow's Algeria. Tomorrow's Algeria. Algiers?
Yeah, tomorrow's Algeria.
Yeah, come on.
That's what you say.
2020.
Lokman, any last words for readers or authors or
Okay,
both?
so I joined Walid in the message. You should really support what you have. We have great potential. Algeria got a lot of artists, and I've been shocked lately because these, since the creation of Atlas House, we were trying to contact different people, and we discovered that there are people that provide art that is like very, very comparable with the international scale of making art. So readers should actually start supporting authors, even though we know the books تاعنا or the art تاعنا is not optimal because we lack resources, we lack processes, we lack.
This is how you improve,
Exactly. We need, as artists, we need support by default, because without without an audience, without readership, we're basically nothing.
Yeah,
What are we writing for? Who are we writing for exactly? So this is for readers, and for authors, I believe they should believe in the possibility that there are people out there who are ready to support them as well, whether they're businesses, they're publishing houses,
Yes.
etc. Part of the things that got me into getting into publishing, because this book is in particular, The Juncture, made me in contact with many people, many institutions, and they were like supporting just for the sake of being supportive. Like it wasn't like there was no condition.
Yeah, no incentive in the
Yeah.
middle.
So this is, what artists should do. It's all about meeting people, exchanging your experiences with people, and that's it. You shouldn't give up. So yeah.
تما ما تزيدش تروح تدير covers تاعك for $200 somewhere.
Allah
Okay.
yeah.
I think we all made mistakes in that genre. So basically, this one I made it myself in Photoshop, 100%. But this one I used AI.
AI, obviously.
And honestly, with hindsight, I wish I just took more time into doing it, just like Isotope, blend everything together alone. But I think it is now for us as a publishing house to, lead by example.
Exactly.
And that's what we're going to do.
So support your local authors, support your local artists, and make sure to go check them. Atlas House, go check their books as well. تاع Walid و Lokmane. Thank you so much for this episode.
Thank you.
I was so happy to have you guys. And I hope I can see you very soon with the first publication تاع the Atlas House.
Of course.
So هذا يتبقى بيناتنا جور نهار اللي تخرجوا an author. I would be very happy to host them on Readers Go.
Amazing.
Thank you.
First author. I know you're watching this.
Yeah.
So be ready.
Submit your manuscript. I want to promote more local
Yeah.
authors. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.